Hey guys, welcome to the channel Cooking with Gadgets in the Kitchen. On this channel, we show you how technology can make your life easier. Now, as you can tell by the thumbnail, an epic failure cooking a rack of lamb in the Ninja digital air fryer, but also an epic success. And I guess the best way I could explain those two is just to show you. Let's jump right into it. This is my experiment with cooking a rack of lambs in the Ninja digital air fryer, and then I'm gonna come back at the end and tell you exactly what I learned. Guys, so here we have rack of lamb. You can see that they have already been cleaned up right from the butcher. Now what I usually do is I usually cut the fat, trim the fat right about there. You can see that your sickles or your meat is right here, and so there's no need for this extra fat. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just trim that fat right quick, get my knife, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna season it up. And I'm gonna show you what I use. Now this is my first time doing this in the Ninja digital air fryer oven. We don't want to take too much fat, right? Make sure we cutting the fat and not into the meat. Always cut away from yourself whenever possible. You can see I have a little bit more meat marble right there, so I'm just gonna skim this fat right here. All right, so it's gonna have a little fat cap, but not much. You can see how I saved the meat right there. Okay, now one of the things I do is I use this jalapeno mustard as a binder. I just love the flavor of it. I use it on just about everything. Let's get that in there nice and good. And you can season your rack however you want, but my base is salt, pepper, a little parsley, some paprika for some color, and then I'm gonna use some Jack Daniel's beef rub just to see if I can get a nice crisp crust. But like I said, you can season to your taste. There's no right, no wrong way, whatever tastes good to you. Want to get it in here. Now I like my lamb medium rare, a little red. So it's going to be a challenge to see what setting to put the Ninja on. Want to make sure we get a nice, good layer. All right. Jack Daniel's rub. Really want to coat it because I want that nice crust. Now, whenever I do this on my pellet grill, this is usually about a 2-hour process, right? I smoke it for about an hour and a half, and then I come back and I crank up the grill and I sear it. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna let that sit for about 20 minutes, just so the meat, the fat and all can start taking in the flavors of the seasoning. All right, so what I wanna do, guys, I wanna play around with the time a little bit. So let me go ahead and set it to air fry, and it's at 400. So let me just hit the time button and let me set this to about 26 minutes, okay? And let's see how that's going to do. Now I'm going to put it on the rack with the catch pan at the bottom, with the pan at the bottom to catch the grease. So we're going to see how that's going to do, guys. So let's get it started. So we have our rack of lambs, and as you can tell, we just have enough clearance, all right? Even got a little season up here. So it's going to clear, and let's go ahead and get it started now. One of the great things about this Sony V1 is that I can get these low shots, guys. The camera is so small, really can get in there. I hope I didn't make a mistake by putting it on the wire rack and not putting it in the basket. But I want the maximum drainage, okay? So I guess I could have got the maximum drainage with the basket too. Let's just go ahead and slide it up in there and start it. And let's start. It's going to preheat, and we'll be good to go. So excited. What about you? Things that I noticed right off the back is that's a lot of smoke, guys. So I don't know if there's no more or not, but we got 4 minutes left. It's a lot of smoke. Go ahead and pause this right quick, and let's see what we have up in here. Got the light. Turn the light on. Whew. Can't really see in there. Let me see if I can zoom in there. Yeah, we got a lot of smoke, and it could be coming from the very top. You see it's touching the elements. That could be it right there. Yeah, so it looked like it had some swelling as it cooked. That's weird. So let's go ahead and let it go for about another minute or so. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see what temp is at. Let's go ahead and check out the temp. Pull this out. Probably gotta use 2 hands. Give me a sec. So it looks really good to me, guys. It looks really, really good. Let's go ahead and check the temp. See that it's done. 163. I like mine to be like around the 150 mark. So I probably overcooked it, all right? You can see the little grease that it got down there. Not as much as I thought it would have. But it's interesting. You can see how it kind of like flaked up. You see how this curled up as it cooked. It curled up and it started hitting the element at the top. So that's why it was smoking. Let's go ahead and check the temp on the other one. All right, let me make sure I got it in there right. It's seeing a little low. Alrighty. Let's let this rest and cut into it. After it rests, I'm gonna go ahead and make me some eggs to go with it on a high protein diet. It's gonna be my breakfast, guys. So let's take it out and let it rest, then we're gonna cut into it. All right, so it look like they are ready to be cut. Let's just zoom out a little bit so we can have a better look at it. Again, not perfect, but you're looking at 23 minutes compared to a 2 or 3 hour process on the grill. See that sickle coming off of that. See, that's how I kind of like mine. It's nice and pink. Now, some people that might be undercooked for them, but I like mine that way. Oh wow, that's not done. That's not done at all. So let's go ahead and put it back in there, guys. Wow, interesting. Back to the drawing board. Let's do 15 minutes. What I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna put the sickles and the fat cap in there for about, I say 15 minutes, but I'm gonna do 10 minutes. I think it's gonna cook fast. And then I'm gonna put the whole rack that I didn't cut back in there for 15 minutes. And let's see how that works, guys. So far, epic failure. But this is why we do this. Learn as we go. Clean that up a little bit. And let's say time. Let me drop it to 11 minutes. And let's start it right there. All right, we should have less smoke now. And then I paused it, guys. The cook time. And the reason why I did that is it had a whole bunch of smoke, and I can look at the silk and I can tell that this is well done. And I really don't like mine to be well done. I like mine to be medium rare. So let me just take one off of here, get it to the cutting board, and let's cut it. Slide in right here, and let's zoom in on it. It's a great thing about this smaller camera. I could manipulate it a little bit how I want it to the shot. Let's just see how this look inside of here. Yeah, and that's a little bit too done for my liking. But let me give it a taste and see. To be honest, it's not bad. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this rack, this whole rack, and put it in there. But I'm gonna drain that grease out the bottom pan. Hopefully that alleviates some of the smoking. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna cut into this. I stopped it, I set it for 11, I stopped it at 6:08. So the Digital Ninja Foodi air fryer cooks really fast. And just got to get the timing together. And I know what some of you are saying, well, why you just don't look at the recommended times? Hey, it's cooking with gadgets in the kitchen, finding your own recipes, seeing how the gadgets can make your life easier. I'm still pleased because it's still under that 2-hour mark if I was doing it on the grill to get this type of result. So let's go ahead and drain the grease and start on this thing. This one. Okay, so what I did was, I didn't even know how I was able to get that rack and pan in there at the same time. So that probably was one of my mistakes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on the pan so it can clear the heating elements. And since the last one cooked so fast, I'm just gonna leave this at 11 minutes, 400, and let's go. So if this come out correctly, then I know next time I do the rack of lambs in here to use this pan. No racks, just the pan. Should give it more than enough to clear if I put it at the bottom. And I had it set for about 23 minutes earlier. I just go ahead and add 10, 11 minutes. So it'll be like 34 minutes if we get the results that we're looking for. So let's go ahead and let that cook out. Hey, you live and you learn. That's why I do these videos. All right, here we go. We got it out of the air fryer. So let's go ahead and cut into it, guys. Now, I think I got the temperature and the timing right now. Cut. And voila. There you have it. Look at all of those juices pouring out of there. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful. I love it. This is perfect. This is exactly how I love my rack of lambs. I mean, you have to experiment with things. If you're a chef and you never mess anything up, then you just not cooking enough. My father is a chef. He owned 2 restaurants. He had a catering company. I seen my dad throw out pots of food over and over again. So it's just part of the journey, and that's why I love cooking. And especially whenever you bring gadgets into the mix, different technology to improve our cooking. Now, this doesn't have that smoke flavor that I would get from my grill. But look, 40 minutes, 35 minutes compared to 2 hours. I'm gonna do this again, guys. And like I said, you live and you learn. I'm gonna go into the studio and I'm gonna share with you what I think I could have done better. All right, welcome back, guys. So here are some of the things I learned. I probably shouldn't have tried to use the rack and the catch pan, use the pan to catch the grease. What that did was made a height difference, which made the fat pack on top of the rack of lambs, when it started to render, it flared up and was catching the element, which caused a lot of smoke. So that could have been dangerous. You never know, a little fire or something could have started. That's why whenever you're cooking, you want to always keep your eyes on your food, no matter what appliance you are using. The second thing I learned was that I probably should have trimmed more fat off of it. This is not a grill. I can't do it the same way that I would normally do it on my pellet grill outside, so I probably should have trimmed more fat off of it. The timing and temperature, I was perplexed, and one of the things which I should have seen as an indicator was, why was the probe or the cooking thermometer reading high on one rack and reading low on the other rack? But I thought it was my failure. So maybe I probably stuck it more into the fat instead of the meat, and by the fat hitting the element, it was hotter. And when I took the temp on the other rack of lamb, I probably had it just in the meat, but I figured that maybe I was doing something wrong. And when I initially cut the first one, based on the lighting, you can tell I had like a big light, you know, to make sure that I can get nice, clean, crisp video. And the glare hit the first sickle that I cut, and it looked perfect. And upon second examination, after I cut a few more, I can see, wait a minute, man, take a different angle. I like, this is raw. So messing with the temperature, messing with whether to put it on the rack or on the pan, my conclusion was that you have to put it on the pan, and the recommended time, and that's my puppy barking again, of course, when I'm in the studio. The recommended time would be 35 to 40 minutes at 400. That's what I learned during this process. Overall, the second rack, guys, it tasted absolutely wonderful. Now, of course, it didn't have the smoke flavor. If you want the smoke flavor like you do it on the grill, then you can go ahead and add some liquid smoke to it. But I was really pleased with the second rack of lamb. But this is why I get into the kitchen, to learn. If you're a cook, if you a chef, and you never threw a plate of food away, then you're not cooking. Trust me, my dad is a chef. My dad had 2 restaurants. I don't confess to be a chef. I just been around the kitchen since I was a little boy, and I love gadgets. So when you combine the love of cooking and the love of gadgets together, hey, cooking in the kitchen with gadgets, it was absolutely wonderful. It was fun to go ahead and try out these different methods. I'm going to try out some more things with the Ninja digital air fryer. If you guys have some suggestions, go ahead, put it down below. I wanted to do a tomahawk steak, but again, I'm probably going to run into the clearance issue again. But if you guys done it before, or send a video of someone else doing it, or you want me to try it, go ahead and leave a comment below.